I'm Sean J.
It's D-Keys.
Hey, Doc.
Freshm3n III from Atlanta. We did Love More. Let's go.
Well, the name Freshm3n III came about because we all formed Freshm3n III when they were freshmen in college and I was a freshman in high school. So that's sort of how the name came about. We've probably been producing professionally for maybe about 6 years, since about 2009.
Yeah.
And
it was like a hobby. Like, it was fun for us. Like, it was kind of just like, we didn't know what we were doing. We were just like joking around, making beats or whatever. And then the explosion of Twitter, and you could see all the A&Rs and artists and everything. So we kind of just started putting music up on Twitter and like check out our link. And then that's pretty much how we kind of got professional. Like, people started like, you know, replying and like, yo, shit's dope, stuff's dope, whatever. So
I'm more of the keys player and Sims, and I lay that down. Howard's more of the drum player. You can elaborate more on what you do.
I don't just do drums. I'm not that crazy. But no, I'm definitely not classically trained. I sort of learned by ear and sort of just being around my brother and Sean. And basically, like, I'll play everything by ear for the most part, or improvise. But I have no classical or formal training or anything like that. But we sort of, the way our process is different every time. Like, I might start an idea, Sean might start an idea, Daryl might start an idea, and we normally just sort of bounce off each other until the record's complete. It's pretty smooth because we sort of know each other and sort of all have the same musical sensibilities. So
right, and we put each other on, like, when we make new sounds or we make drums or whatever. Like, we share everything, you know. So it's not kind of like, oh, Daryl's up on this or Howie's up on this, and I don't really know how he's doing it. Like, we always collab and like show each other, like, this is how you do this is how you do that. So it's kind of just like, it really works out really easy. Like, it's not really much of an ego thing because we all we enjoy the same type of music. So it's just kind of like, and it's a 2/3 method. So if two of the guys like it, that's what it stays.
Yeah.
So we kind of just wash our hands and keep it moving.
R&Bass is like, it's the future sound that's really gonna dominate the airwaves. Basically, it's just a fresh sound that people aren't accustomed to. I think only recently you started to hear people attack West Coast records on like an R&B tip more than like just rapping. And I feel like that combination is just gonna evolve and expand into something bigger and bigger. And we're excited about the future.
One day I was headed to the gym, and I usually listen to music to get inspiration for beats on the way to the gym. And I was listening to a Diplo mix, and I just felt the energy of the music he was playing. He was playing all different genres. He was mixing electro with hip hop. I was like, wow. I was like, we need to do something like that for Chris Brown. At the time, our manager was working on the X album. He was A&R in the project, and they were having a writing camp. And he asked us for beats for Chris. So I was like, if we're gonna do something for Chris, it needs to be up tempo. It needs to make people dance. It needs to make the world dance. So I went back to the house. I had a conference with my brothers. I said, Howie, Sean, like, we need to do something like that's gonna change the game.
Yeah.
And at the time, we were listening to a lot of Bay Area music. And we were like, let's mix Bay Area with electro. Let's just make a
make a turn up record.
Turn up record. This is a mashup.
Yeah,
or something.
let's see how it goes.
So then, Howie got on his laptop. He was in his bed, I think, and then he just started coming up with a little melody.
Yeah, like I basically started the beat in my bed, and then Sean and Daryl added onto it, and we sort of formulated the idea, like fleshed it out pretty much the next day.
I mean, as soon as he was finished with it, I told him, I was like,
yeah, he did.
That's a hit.
He called it.
I immediately started doing the Bernie. I just knew it. I knew it. Like, that's it.
Right. And I was kind of like iffy on it. I was like, I don't know until I hear a song on it. But I mean, I thought the beat was dope, but I've never heard a song like that. So I was like, I mean, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. And then how we got it to Chris, it was crazy. We were actually working with will.i.am on Britney Spears' project at the time. So when the writing camp was going on, we couldn't really work in the writing camp. So basically, we just dropped the record off with our manager and then went to go work on with Will on Britney Spears stuff. And then I think it was either that night or the next night, he was like, yo, like, they killed it, whatever. So I was like, all right, cool, whatever. You know, that was that. And then the next week, he was like, yo, they talk about a single, this, that, and the other. And then a few weeks later, they said they were going to put Nicki Minaj on it. And then we found out on Twitter that she was like, Chris just sent me this crazy beat. Yeah, and then I guess like 2 months after that, which is around June, he performed it at the BET Awards, and then it was like,
we were actually in the studio.
Yeah, we were actually with Will. We actually missed.
Yeah,
we missed like half the performance because we were in a room working with Will.
That was a great moment, just to see it on television.
Yeah, and then then the video came out. I think like in mid-August. Well, it came out on iTunes like in July, and then the video came out in August, and then hearing it on the radio. We were like on the way to the studio and we heard it on the radio for the first time. We were like, oh shit, this is crazy. And then, that was that. It was just life changing.
That was the first song we've had on the radio. So, just from that song, like we were able to like move into like a better apartment.
Yeah, the houses,
like
it's just comfortable. Yeah, like,
get cars.
It wasn't
like...
sharing food anymore. It was a good time. But yeah, because we've done stuff like we did a theme song for Ice Age, and then Ice Age 4, right? Yeah. And that was cool seeing it in a movie, but that's not, you can't really brag to like your friends about that, you know what I mean? So it's just kind of like that was cool, and then we were on an album. But when you have something on the radio where people like your old friends from high school and college are like, yo, y'all are killing it, like I love your record, my kids love your record, whatever. Then it's just like, okay, we made it. Like it's more of a feeling thing in a that you're headed in the right direction rather than like the amount of money you make or whatever. It's just like, okay, we hit it. Like our parents were proud of us, so it was kind of like, all right, we're doing it. What we said we were gonna do is happening.
Right. How long did it take us to get our first hit? Probably about 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
Because we've been producing seriously since 2009. But back then, I don't think we were ready.
Right.
Like to be in the industry, so to speak. But we've been chasing it for a minute, and it finally came to us, and it was great. Yeah. We're about to break down Love More by Chris Brown featuring Nicki Minaj. Just give you guys a little bit of a inside look on how the beat was created and some of the sounds we used. So let's get into it.
So a lot of times how we work, we don't actually just work off one Logic session or one computer. Like we all three have our own setup with the same sound, same drums, same elements. We'll have a brief meeting or whatever, team meeting usually called by Daryl. He's project coordinator. He tells us what we should be doing, like for this, like whatever. If we decide we're gonna go on Chris Brown or whoever's project, this is what they need to be doing. Listen to this music. Check out this DJ set, and then we'll all just kind of get to work, put our headphones on, put together our own ideas, work for a few hours. Unless we got something crazy, then Daryl will put his headphones. Someone will put it like, I got it.
So usually whoever comes up with like the best idea, we'll sort of roll with, and then we'll sort of work off of. That'll be like the template for making the track that we're working on that day. Well, this is Love More. This is the session. We made the beat in Logic 9. There are only about 57 tracks in this beat. The inspiration really, like we were saying earlier, was just to make sort of a turn-up record, just that was futuristic, had electro sounds, but was also something that DJs can really play on the radio and in the clubs. So let's get into the sounds. First sound we have is this little pluck sound right here. Sort of an eerie sound, but it's sort of open, so that it's easy to put a top line over.
Yeah, it kind of has like that Bay Area feel. And at the time we were listening to a lot of Bay Area music, so we kind of wanted to implement that in the beat.
The next sound we have is this little vocal sample that we have. Basically, we just took a sample like from a vocal, and just we sampled it into EXS24 and just sort of made a little pattern out of it. Yeah, in that part, it's a little build up we made.
As you can see, like the many different elements. There's a clap. There's a clap, constant clap loop in there, and there's a snare loop in there. And there's a
clap sound.
A clap sound. And there's an 808 in there also.
And then the riser.
Yeah, and then a riser.
And the little riser down here. And Also, another little cool thing we added was this little reverse bass sound, and it sort of it bleeds into the 808, sort of makes a little cool effect. We have this little clap pattern underneath in the verse to sort of just give a little bit of movement, and it was just a little different element that I thought really added to the beat.
Really, the vibe of this has more of like a dance hall vibe as well.
And here are the drums we use. It's a kick.
And we like to put a lot of parallel compression on our kick. Parallel compression just makes the kick hit harder.
Just hit through the mix a little bit better. And the 808 with the kick.
And it's one of our custom 808s that we like to use. Kind of like put it through a couple compressors just to make it thick and hit really hard.
Yeah. A lot of people like our 808. Like, not to brag, but they always, where y'all get the 808
Yeah.
from? Like, a lot of engineers are like, yo, y'all 808 is crazy. So, can't get that away, but.
And then in the hook, we use a different 808, something a little more subdued. But
so this, in the hook 808, it has a lot of distortion on it because you wanted it to hit a little bit different from the reverse 808.
Bring it back, bring it back, bring it back.
That was like our little version of what we thought the hook should do. But of course, shout out to Verse Simmonds, he killed the hook.
yeah, Verse Simmonds and Eric Bellinger.
Actually,
did their thing.
I don't even know if they've ever heard that version with that. I think we only.
I think we actually did send 2 versions.
Oh, we sent 2 versions. That's
initially.
Right. Yeah, we dropped off 2 versions of it, but yeah, like shout out to Verse, he killed it. Like he attacked it the best way you can. Like once it gets open like that, you know, it's just he's talking shit till we get it right. I'm gonna get it. You know what I mean? Like it's just he attacked it perfect for the hook.
We used 2 different snaps in the beat, sort of have them stacked.
Yeah, and those just basic snaps, and then kind of like freaked it with just EQing.
The other one has a little bit of a different quality to it. It's more of a snap, like hits a little bit harder.
And at the end of the day, this is a real basic track. It took us maybe an hour to do.
A couple hours total to complete everything.
Yeah,
but
you came up with the idea. It was like
an hour.
45 minutes. Yeah, and then the rest was just mixing, like doing stuff like that, putting 2 snaps on it, and making sure the 808 is different in the hook, like just little nitpicky things like that.
And of course, you know, after it was done, we got it mixed by Jason Joshua. It was like one of the best mixers there is, and he made it sound phenomenal for radio.
Yeah. That's the crux of the beat.
That's pretty much it.
Normally, when we get placements, they've come about in ways that we never really expected. Like, we typically will get a placement when we do a track and just send it off and sort of have no expectations. But like when we sort of like focus on, oh, I have to do so-and-so for this artist, sometimes you can get in your own way. Sometimes that's good, depending on the artist, but sometimes you just gotta trust your gut and just make what you think that artist needs in the future.
Right, and just play your stuff out, because you never know. I mean, there's records we've done that we had in mind, like this is gonna be for this artist, and we play it for another camp, and like their team goes crazy, like yo, they gotta have it. That's what they're on now, because you never know. Everyone who's writing and artists, they like different stuff. They're chameleons. They're not necessarily on what they were on their last album. Right. They're ready to move on to the next thing, and that's where like new, hungry, up and coming producers who listen to Diplo and they listen to house and they listen to every genre, every music, like pull from anything you can and just make it make sense for what you're doing.
Yeah. And I would say if you're an up and coming producer, just do your research. Like go and search the internet, see what's hot, see what was hot in the past. Just make sure you have all the tools so when you step in the room with an artist, you have all the tools that you need to make a hit for them.
Exactly.
So you just got to be prepared. You got to do your research. You got to make connections, have a strong team around you, and you know, the best will come. You just got to grind.
And just listen to like a lot of different genres of music, because you never know where you could pull from to create music. Because we always try and push the envelope and mix genres and You know, just make music that we're gonna want to listen back to years from now, basically.
If I could say one thing to any producer, like, don't ever give up. Like, even if you feel like, even if someone tells you, oh, that beat is whack, just go back in, study, see what you can improve on based on tracks that you hear on the radio or past tracks from producers that you like, and just keep going, keep getting better, and keep researching. You just really have to hone your skill when it comes to production, because you know the game is changing so dramatically now with the software we have. It's just easier to make it, so you really got to make sure that your skill level is at the top level when you step into the game with the big boys, the super producers.
Right. Yeah, and push yourself. Don't say like, oh, this sounds good because it sounds like something Freshm3n III would do. Like, do it where it sounds better than something Freshm3n III would do. Because that's what we used to do. Like, we grew up listening to Timbaland and Neptunes and Polo. So like, we wanted to make something better than what they made. So like, and we weren't really satisfied until it sounded like, oh, okay.
At that level or above.
At that level or above, right.
And when we did Love More, there was no beat on the radio, or no beat that we actually heard in the past that sounded like this. So we kind of we pulled from all our inspirations, old and new, and we just kind of invented a new style of beat.
Yeah.
So I would just say, just experiment and try to invent a new style, because that's what's gonna differentiate you from the new producers that are coming out, and the old producers too.